1. We is hot. We are back. It is season 2.
Welcome back, you guys, to We Shouldn't Have a podcast, and welcome to season 2. Like Jackie said, we made it to season 2. Can you believe it?
No, I cannot believe it.
Honestly, I can, because we set out to do this, and in my heart, when we decided to do it, like, I was in it for the long haul. So where were you?
I was too. I mean, you heard me. I was thinking about 100 episodes plus. So
this is our 21st episode, and Jackie's already trying to open liquids right after we turn the mics on. Go for it. Open it up. What are you drinking?
A little Alani new coffee. It's called Alani coffee.
I've been waiting to try that because it's protein.
Yeah.
So I was going to do it after a workout, but I have yet to work out this morning. So I went straight for the Alani New, just like...
You want to try a little bit?
Yeah, is it good?
Yeah, it is actually really good.
I went straight for the energy drink.
Yeah, energy drink at 10 a.m. is a little brazy, but...
Well, that is good. Why? I feel like that's the perfect time to do it. When else?
I guess not the energy drink. The flavor is an interesting choice. It seems early.
It's just like, it's like juice.
What is it? Kiwi what?
It's, I don't even know. Hold on. It is...
Let's get...
Kiwi guava.
Kiwi guava.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I could be wrong.
I mean, it's good.
Yeah, it looks how it tastes.
I like Alani Nu's flavors. I feel like they're just very sweet, and I don't mind too much sweetness. I know some people get like irked out, but I really don't mind it. So
dope.
Anyways, guys, we're back, and so much has changed.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, so much has changed. We literally moved from Turkey, the country, to, I don't know if there's a city named Turkey. I just thought I'd clarify. The country of Turkey back to the United States, and we are sitting in our home in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes.
And it feels so surreal. We took the week off to just kind of regroup and get settled back in. Yeah. And I'm starting to feel settled. Do you?
I'm getting there. I'm not necessarily settled yet. Like,
what's it gonna take? What do you need?
No,
sir?
I think it's just more of like the daily routine stuff that's kind of throwing me for a loop, because right now my days have gone from literally being very regimented to now not being as regimented, in having it actually be somewhere, whatever. I've been able to kind of do my own thing, so it's finding that balance, you know.
Yeah, I get that. I guess I forget that is different for you, because my day looks pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Except I'm probably going to start working again in the next couple of weeks, so that might be a little adjustment for me going back to work. But I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Like, I am so excited.
Yeah.
But we've still been really good about waking up early and getting going. So
yeah,
I guess that hasn't changed for me.
Yeah, our alarm clocks are still 6:30 a.m. for sure.
But now that the podcast is back, it's going to be 5 a.m.
Yep, correct.
So
yeah, it is going to be a little earlier.
So just to be honest with you guys, we woke up I set my alarm for 5 a.m. and a 5:30 a.m. alarm. And Jackie turned them off, which is fine and great and awesome.
I didn't turn them off.
You didn't reach over me and turn it off?
No, you did. That's what I'm saying.
I woke up to you reaching over me and turning it off.
No, I did not reach over you and turn it off. That did not happen.
I just don't know what to believe right now.
No, it didn't happen. I had a 5:30 alarm set. The only time I reached across was to give you a hug and to wake you up. That was it. I literally reached across you and shook you.
Bumped my...
Yeah, I just reached across you and shook you.
Interesting.
Because you were still asleep.
Oh, okay.
That's all that happened.
Okay. Anywho, my alarms got turned off, I guess by me. And we were like, yesterday we had a whole meeting of, what times we want to record and just how we want to revamp schedule. Season 2 and just make sure that we're on our A game.
Yeah.
So Jackie's going to be doing some like computer work and things, because he works in finance in the off season, and he really enjoys doing that. And so we're trying to make sure his hours to do that make sense and whatnot. So typically he would start working from 7:30 to like noon, 1 on his computer. So we were like, how are we going to make the podcast work timing wise? And so really the solution we came to was that we would have to record at 6 a.m., which we are fine with because we already wake up at that time.
Yeah.
But in order to start recording at the time, we would have to wake up, 30 minutes to an hour before. So it's a little bit of an adjustment in the schedule. And this morning, like, we both got up at 5:30. It's just I stayed in bed to do my devotional. And then by the time I came down here, he was making coffee around 6 a.m. Then we come to sit down at the table and I was setting up the camera, and Jackie had already set up the mics and stuff last night. So responsible, so mature. Good job. And I hadn't set up the camera because the camera's my phone. So like you can't set that up really until the time being, like until the moment of. And so we're trying to like set up the set, whatever. It's like 6:09. We're obviously a little behind schedule. Long story short, we got in a little tense moment because Jack was feeling like we should be already starting. And I was like, yo, like we're figuring it out. What's the rush? And so then just to sum it up, basically, it's 10 a.m. now. We had to take a breather from each other because we were just tense. And it was, I think, honestly, we were excited to do this. We were excited after the meeting. We want it to be great.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you and I want something to be great, we try so hard to make it great that it's more stressful than it is fun when it should be fun.
Correct. I agree.
So I feel like that's what happened this morning. And so I'm glad we took a breather. I'm glad we're back.
Yes, I am too.
And we're doing it. We're doing season 2. We're in our home. We have a new backdrop.
Yeah.
As you can see, tell them the story of this painting.
So, I almost got kicked out of church for this painting, in all honesty. But this painting was rescued from the dumpster by my beautiful mother, Janelle. And so I painted this in 2000, painted this in like 2004, 2003, 2004. I was definitely a teenager. Get crunk. So that was Little John, Usher, all them. So, no, I painted this, and obviously Get Crunk at the time was like...
Tell the listeners what it says, because if you're not looking,
it says, if you're not looking, yes, Get Crunk with Jesus, and then it has 6 handprints.
He painted this.
Yes, I painted this. I did some sponge paint. Aesthetically, I think it has not changed from much of my aesthetic now. No. Very minimalistic. It gets the point across. It's very striking. So, they weren't necessarily feeling this. And then they actually, because they realized they were wrong, hung it above the door in the youth room. Until I was well into college.
They thought it was offensive.
At first they thought it was offensive. They said, "Oh, get crunk with Jesus." And I was like, no, it's a good thing. Like, get hype with Jesus. Like, they're like, oh, okay, we understand.
And then your parents were just at the church a couple months ago.
Literally a couple months ago, this was in the dumpster, and my mom rescued it. And God bless her heart, because now it's the centerpiece of our dining room. So, I love it. I think it looks great. Well, how do you feel about it? Like,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love just sentimental things.
Yeah, I've always been like, and for it to be on, I'm artist, it's on a canvas, like,
I think like
solid.
I mean, you always mess with me and tell me that I always just want to be different. You say that, like, that's not the case. I like honoring things for what they are. Like, they don't have to be mainstream. They don't have to be like the cool kid vibe. Like, I love honoring, like, you stepped back from that when you made that when you were a teenager and thought, this is finished, this is good. And that's how I think about, like, with God, with us, with everything. Like, I'm trying to beat out that, like, perfectionism mindset where it has to fit in this box. It's like, no, it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. Let's leave it. Let's appreciate it.
Yeah.
And that to me is this is an exercise.
I mean, if you told me when I painted this that it was going to be in my house years later, that this was actually going to find its way back to me.
Yeah.
Is insane.
That's what I love about interior stuff, though. Like, just have fun with it. You know what I mean? This painting doesn't have to stay here forever. We had another very controversial painting.
That's controversial. I'm weak.
Here,
anyone that's been to our home, we'll change it out one day.
Yeah,
and we'll see if anybody notices.
No, they'll notice. I'll post a picture on Wish App's story today with the old piece of artwork that used to be here.
Yes,
it is now upstairs in our bedroom.
How to get there?
Your parents hung it up there when we were gone, which I just think is so funny because this painting. I wouldn't say it wasn't like offensive, but definitely our parents wouldn't.
It could be a little jarring, is what I would say. It'd be a little jarring. It's
our parents would rather it be in our bedroom. Let's say that.
It's both of us, and we obviously commissioned this painting from an artist in North Carolina.
Yes,
right? Correct.
I had like found her on Instagram randomly because I loved her work, and I didn't see. Yeah, I'll explain after you tell them what it is first, and then I'll explain.
Yeah. Well. I was about to go into that. I was going to say that we commissioned this painting, and all of the artwork that this artist has and has done of us, I think is absolutely phenomenal. So
she's amazing.
Obviously when we got it, we were both naked in the actual painting. Now, mind you, I don't have an issue with that. You know, that's how I came into this world, probably how I'm going to go out of this world. You know?
Want me to lay you naked in your coffin?
At some point, my everything will fall off of me and descend. We do need to get into this. And so anyways, I thought I love very different takes on things. And so to me, it wasn't that jarring, but to everyone else that walked in that saw us naked in essentially us naked in our living room, it's an interpretation.
Which it looked really vain.
Yeah, it looked, I don't think it looked vain. I don't think it looked vain.
I mean, it didn't not look vain.
I guess that's true as well. So, I mean, so it's one of those paintings where it's just like you see it, you look at it, and it's definitely a conversation starter. So
go check out the Wish App Insta story because I'm definitely going to post it. But basically, we told her, do whatever you want. Like, we just love your work and we trust you. Here's some colors we like, and our house is very eclectic, so you literally can't go wrong. And we just let her run with that. And she painted us naked, and it's honestly beautiful. The painting is stunning.
I love it.
But every time someone walks in, because our front door, like when you walk in our front door, it is the first thing you see. Really, like it's.
I wouldn't say first.
It's directly in eyesight when you walk on the wall. Walk in. It's the wall facing them. Yeah. Anyways, whatever. You notice it because it's huge, and we're naked, and so our parents are like, why is this in the dining room? And Jackie was like, we bought it for the dining room. It's going in the dining room. Like,
exactly. You're not going to scare me off a decision.
Until Get Crunk with Jesus resurfaced, and then we swapped them out. But I'm loving this right now.
There's a lot of things you've done in this house that are just like little small things that I love.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're starting sitting at the table, which y'all know if you watch season 1 in Turkey, we bounced around the apartment just because we'd get bored in a spot. And I promised Jackie that next week we could do it on the couch because he likes, that sounded horrible.
What?
Do it on the couch. Oh, no, but he likes to sit on the couch for this.
So is that a no?
No, I said I promised you. Oh, yeah. It's not a no. But yeah, so we'll show y'all like little corners of the house maybe over the next couple weeks of season 2. We'll switch it up so you can see.
And maybe upstairs one time, maybe. We need to get an office. That's what this is, honestly.
We have an office.
We do.
Don't get me started.
We have office and we have things. So
Jackie, his storage unit got emptied into this house when he purchased this house, and it's all in the office. It's all piled up in the office, and I have spent days of my life trying to organize, but it's so much childhood stuff and things like you don't want to get rid of right now, you might want the future. So honestly, we just need to get a storage unit because we don't have storage in this house. Like we don't have an attic or anything, a basement, nothing like that to where you can like hide stuff. It's literally just usable rooms. And so that room's been acting as our storage unit. And I had such big dreams for that room. I was like, this is going to be the best studio office ever, but maybe in our next house.
Maybe. We'll see. I think we'll see.
We'll see.
It could be done eventually, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just so excited. If you can't tell, I'm feeling so chatty because it feels like we haven't spoken to a friend in like 2 weeks.
That's exactly what it feels like.
You know, I'm like, there's so much to catch them up on. You know, the move, everything that went down, and we reached 1,000 downloads.
Yep,
over 1,000 downloads.
A little over 1,000,
which is honestly just so cool.
So that is very cool.
You know,
to be completely honest.
So I mean, for only 20 episodes, I feel like that's really exciting and good. And so we just want to say thank you to you guys for listening to season 1 and just you know, we said this before, it's never been about for us like trying to reach numbers or do anything like that. We just truly enjoy doing this. So thank you for listening. It just makes it even more fun knowing that people are along the journey with us. So thank you for downloading. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
And thank you for subscribing, following all the things.
All of the things. Yeah.
It's just really fun. And yesterday we were game planning and getting so excited. This season's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. I think we got some fun things planned.
Yeah.
For sure. Did you want me to talk about the mausoleum thing? As well, you brought that up. So I just want to know, like, because me and Lacy had this conversation, and I said to her, I want to be buried in a mausoleum, and she's like, why are we even talking about this? And I don't even know how it got brought up.
It was like the last day or two in Turkey. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
How did it get brought up?
It was like, I think we were watching a show, or we were watching they were saying that somebody was getting
was it the
cremated?
Was it the funeral movie?
Maybe.
What is that? The movie you were making me watch. Death at a Funeral. Death at a Funeral. Was that it?
Potentially. I'm not sure.
We got on the topic of death.
we got on the. Is that a car alarm? Istanbul.
Mm-hmm. Hold on.
Nah.
What is that?
Am I tripping?
Yeah, it is a car alarm.
Okay.
Dang, sorry.
Anyway.
Welcome to season 2.
So I was telling her I want to be buried in a mausoleum. That's what I want. And she's like, you're going to make our family go broke, and you're going to have, our kids are going to have to go in debt to bury you in this. Like, you're already gone, whatever. And I'm like, no, like, and obviously I was explaining the reasons why that we would be able to do that. But it was like you were opposing. And I said, oh, now I need to get a will made. Because you literally told me, you said, no, we're not going to. And you like just throw me in the river. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Because I just feel like as a Christian, obviously it's a gift to live here on this earth and to be given a body and a life and all this stuff. But I just look at this time here on earth as so temporary, and I fight my flesh on a daily basis. And I feel like when I'm finally free of my flesh and I'm finally at home with Jesus, like, I don't want my kids, my husband, my parent, no one fooling with my flesh. Like, it's just not even worth it. Let it go. I'm better off. I'm happy.
So
I'm
you don't want
living
me
with
in a
the
casket.
Lord.
You don't want me in a casket, nothing.
I don't even care. Do whatever you want with it. Like, throw me in the river. That's what I mean. I don't care. Use me for science. I don't care.
Okay.
Like, I'll pray about this, and if the Lord tells me otherwise, like, I'm gonna tell
them they can just keep you at that point. I'm just gonna say, just keep her back. Just keep her back there.
It's another way that our society tries to make money, and I don't want you to be burdened, my family to be burdened, our kids to be burdened with this financial, burden. What is it?
We're not going to turn this into a life insurance podcast, but okay.
No.
I understand your point, and I hear you.
I'm just saying it is another industry that I don't feel like we need to feed into when my soul and spirit's already in heaven, living it up, singing, dancing.
Do you want to put this in a will, or do you want to just leave it on this podcast and I can use this?
This is fine.
Okay, perfect. Cool. Good.
My name's Lacy Cavalier, and I co-sign or I sign off on what I just said.
There you go.
To whatever. Who would be listening? An attorney?
Whoever. I don't know.
Well, y'all can do whatever with that information. I'm fine with that. But yeah, this man's gonna like make our kids go $50,000 in debt to build him a marble mausoleum. Is that what it's called? Nutty.
Yeah. You know me.
By the end of the conversation, I was crying though, because
you see, you didn't want to talk about it.
No, because then you brought up my parents, and you're like, well, what about our parents? Like, don't you want to have a place to go visit them once they pass and all this stuff? And I'm like, how could you bring up the thought of my parents passing away? They're never going to pass away.
I mean, yeah, whatever. Do you know what they want?
No. Oh my gosh, no. You're going to make me cry again. I don't know what they want.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make sure we tell our kid, hey, but you know what to do.
Dad wants to be buried in a 20-foot mausoleum for God knows what.
And
weak. Yeah, you're gonna be the type that haunts our children if they don't bring flowers and donuts to your grave every 2 weeks and that sort of stuff. You're gonna be a petty ghost.
No, I'm not gonna be
you're
a ghost.
Gonna be a petty
I'm not gonna be a ghost. Come on.
I'm gonna be a petty ghost.
Absolutely not. I'm gonna be up in heaven chilling.
Mm-hmm. Still trying to keep tabs of them.
Still trying to. Let me tell you.
There was something else I wanted to tell y'all that I was thinking about when we were catching up. Oh, my engagement ring.
It's back.
I got my ring back. I did mention it on like the second to last podcast, or maybe the last podcast, about me breaking my engagement ring. LOL. At least we didn't lose it.
Yeah.
At least it just got broken. Anyways, and our incredible jewelers fixed it for us. So I have it back, and it feels like we're engaged all over again. It feels so fun.
Yeah, you made me get down on one knee and put it on you.
Yeah. You didn't get down on one knee.
I said you tried to make me.
Yeah, I wanted you to, but you wouldn't do it. I don't understand that. Why wouldn't you?
That's a great question.
Don't you want to feel the romance, the excitement all over again?
I think it's because you were only doing it to try to like give me a hard time. Like you weren't doing it to.
What do you mean? No, I wanted to feel the butterflies.
Okay.
You know, it's so funny, like how different we think.
Is it? How so?
It's not really funny. It can be one of the most infuriating things on the planet.
I would agree.
This is this was our issue this morning. Like we think so differently. I think that's all of humans, you know. A lot maybe there's probably a good 25% of couples that maybe think similarly, but I feel like majority of couples have, you know, different ways of approaching things, different love languages, just different communication styles.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think like we're trying to get better at in not harping on the problem, but getting quicker to the solution. Mm-hmm. It's so hard. Like this morning was not a big deal at all, but like we could not get on the same page. We just couldn't get on the same page.
Yeah. Now we're on the same page.
What if someone doesn't get this car?
That's what I'm like.
Whose car is still going off? Do you think it's that Enterprise?
Maybe.
Weird.
Maybe.
Anywho, we're so happy. So happy to be back. And I think we should just jump into it unless there's anything else you want to update them on. Anything about your move? He had a 35-hour travel day coming back. We were on separate flights.
Yeah, something like that. I mean...
I got pickleball rackets. I'm gonna become a pickleball girly.
You did get pickleball rackets. Yeah, not many updates from the. I would say the move was like the biggest thing. Like 30-some hour trip back, got back, and then just kind of jumped straight into it. So it's kind of like summer has started.
Yeah, I'm proud of us for getting unpacked and like. I don't know. I feel like things like that used to stall me out.
Yeah.
I would stare at the bags for weeks and this and that. And there's something about this lifestyle where the quicker you can just deal with the tasks right in front of you, the quicker you can start to feel settled and at peace. And so it's taught me that, and I feel like I'm much better at that now. Like when I see a task and things that need to be done for us to be comfortable in our space, I just do it now.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel like when you get comfortable, like if we had been living here the whole time, you just get used to like letting things fall by the wayside. But moving so much, changing apartments, changing scenery, all that, like you have to maintain consistent, and things like our clothes need to be clean because we only have one suitcase of clothes while we're gone, right? So I just do the laundry and I just get it done. And now I'm like better at that. Yeah. Even though we 100%. Have a whole closet of clothes that we can go and put on, I like for our things to be done. Like, I don't know.
Everything kind of put in its place.
Everything in its place, everything sorted. And I used to not be that way. I used to let it go longer. And now I feel like I'm better at that. And so it helped me get settled quicker.
You do a great job.
Thank you. That. Oh my gosh. I like wasn't fishing for that, but man, that felt nice. Okay, let's just get started.
Yeah.
I know you were talking about yesterday, the new VR goggles.
Yeah.
Coming out.
The new Apple. Yeah. VR. I was just
give us an update on that.
I was, in all honesty, I was just thinking how like much more addicted like to our phones we could potentially become. Because I was telling you yesterday, I was like, can you imagine having an iPhone here, like on a plane? There'd be no more reason for an iPad, MacBook, anything like that if I could see it in front of me at 120 feet. And I was like, I think you're gonna probably see a lot of people on flights with the phone,
especially after 35 hours of traveling. We travel so much on long haul flights that the idea of that is literally life-changing for us.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, it is pretty crazy. So I'll be interested to see, but we are only talking about that because I forget why that even got.
Well, did you see a release date?
I did. I saw something about that they were getting ready that something was getting ready to come out with it, and it like.
Do you know when?
No, that was not on it. Okay. But it was.
We're gonna have to ask you to turn your mic and your headphones on.
I have zero things besides the fact that I thought that it was
interesting,
super interesting, and just like gonna revolutionize some things. I think we're gonna see things go pretty crazy here in the next couple of years.
Yeah,
I think so. You can also buy a flying bike for $500,000.
No way.
Yeah, that you can literally buy it and be outside flying around on it.
How do you feel about all of this progression, I guess?
I love it. I love technology. I love technology. I think that it can be definitely, if used in the wrong way, which, new things, someone always figures out a way, right? But I think all in all, it's going to push humanity forward as far as probably what we can do, where we can go. So I love that part, like that part of like futuristic, how the world's going to look in 20, 30 years is really cool to me. Why is it I think it freaks you out.
It's it's not fear. It's like, sorry, they're building a house across the street from us. This is just the car alarm, the screeching of the tools. Sorry about that. No, it's not fear. It's more about just like, I just don't.
Spit it out.
I'm trying to figure out how I want to say this. I was going to say like, the progression of humanity is not really my concern.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm constantly like, okay, like, great, we have a flying bike, but like, literally our culture is so demonic. Like, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I know you get so tired of hearing me talk about this, but I'm not kidding. It's, I just feel like sometimes we're just worried about the wrong things. It's cool to see, like, yeah, it's cool, like fly a bike. I just don't think it's the most important, like, discovery or topic or just feel like we're worried about the wrong things.
Yeah, summer house reunion is definitely.
Well, oh my gosh. I mean, obviously, like, I know that we're on this earth and we have to live, but like, why? Say what you want to say, because you're giving me eyes and looks and whatever. Say what you want to say. Get off your chest.
No, I'm listening to you. I'm
just like, I know that we're supposed to live and like create, and I think the people that are creating these things, that's God-given gifts. Like, it's so cool. It truly is. It's that thing of like, what is the highest of priority regarding our time here on earth? And I think it's cool. It's whatever, but I don't know. I just think it's not the end all be all.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, who's ever buying the bike for $500,000, they return it. You heard her.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I feel like I'm being misunderstood right now.
No, I hear you.
Do you really?
Yeah, I hear you for sure. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I was only saying it because of that. We were talking about the futuristic Apple VR stuff.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's as far as I go. Is like, it's cool.
Yeah, same.
I think the minds that create this stuff are brilliant, and that in itself it's so creative but still technical. That's a brain combo that is to be cheered for, cheered on. So good job, you guys. Whoever's creating all these techie things, it's really cool. We're happy for you and we're thankful for you, because we wouldn't be able to do this podcast right now if it weren't for techie things.
Correct.
But I was regarding more of like, or referring to more of just the progression of humanity in that sense of like, I feel like we're becoming like alien vibes with all this, like these flying things and these whatever. Like, are we going to be driving our kids to school in a aircraft?
I mean, maybe.
Flying our kids to school?
I know if everyone has flying cars, you want to be driving the Toyota Prius on the ground. So it doesn't matter anyways.
I think that's it. It's like keeping it simple, keeping life simple. But I guess they think of it in the same way, like that this progression makes life more simple. I don't know. Or does it make it more complicated? I don't know.
I have no idea. Sounds complicated, I'll tell you that much.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see if we own a pair of those VR goggles.
I doubt it.
You want some, don't you?
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
Have I ever told you like couldn't get anything?
What? Have you ever told me I can't get anything?
Yeah, like I would never tell you, oh, we're not buying those VR. Like, I've never shot down your techie dreams.
You would just suggest to me, like, this is what you would say to me. Would God want us to buy this?
No, I would not say that. No, I would not
say
that.
Do you really think this is good for you? No, you take. Do you really think this is good for your spirit?
No, I would not say that either.
You don't think you...
I don't think that purchasing any material items determines your relationship with the Lord.
No, not at all.
I think of it in the way of like, are we stewarding our finances the best way we can?
Correct.
I don't think that God begrudges us of buying things but like that's small potatoes. That has nothing to do with our salvation. It's about, is it of more importance to us than him and then our relationship with him? That's the only time that gets tricky, is when we start putting material things above our relationship with him, when that means more to us than him.
Yeah.
No, like I would never say that to you. The heck?
Okay. That's what I meant. Not the two things that I had first said. I mean, I just mean that it would just be a conversation. Like you would try to advise, like be like, is that smart?
Yeah, because I think just long-term financial goals are on the front of mind for me. Like I know all the things that we want to do long-term in our life, like investment-wise and things like that. So that's more of the way my brain works is, yeah, we've got to live now. We've got to enjoy now. And we do. Like we go to the grocery store and you get whatever snacks you want.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But we go on trips, we do things, we buy things that we want. We literally want for nothing. Mm-hmm. And so when I think about like big purchases, I'm just kind of like, let's have a conversation before we make big purchases, because that could be a what is it called? Why can't I think of it? Like a deposit, but what is it called? On a house, like a
down payment.
A down payment. I was gonna say down deposit. A down payment on a house or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. I feel like I'm getting attacked. No, is this just season 2 vibes? Is this the new vibes? Goodness gracious.
Who's attacking you?
I don't know. I'm gonna scoop my mic over here.
Okay.
Kick us off on Summer House because I need a second.
So what Summer House was it last night?
Yeah.
And
Happy Memorial Day weekend, by the way, everyone.
Happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. And I mean, it was everything that, honestly, it was better than what I thought it was going to be, but the vibes were just, for me, it wasn't like, if I had missed it, I would be like, okay, cool. We can rewatch it. And even then I was just kind of, in and out. I don't know. Danielle and the Carl drama with Lindsay. And then the whole stuff that they brought up, the whole thing 4 years ago with Kyle, to me was all very, very confusing. So I don't know. What'd you think about it?
I don't like seeing them bully Lindsay and Carl.
Yeah, it does seem very high school.
I feel like it's a life lesson. Like, literally, I'm sitting there watching and I'm like, okay, not any of you sitting up there have been perfect. Mm-hmm. So to like bring up someone's mistake from 4 years ago, I get what they're saying. They want it to be acknowledged and addressed and for her to take responsibility. Yeah. But they're angry with her because she brought something up on camera 4 years ago, but now they're waiting till a reunion to bring this up on camera. Yeah, so I'm like, that in itself is contradictory, and they've all done it. They've all chosen to be on a show that's produced. Yeah. So I just don't feel like any of them are above each other in that sense. And I just was not feeling Paige's attitude the whole time. She was just, there was nothing that Lindsay and Carl could have said or done that she was going to like let just be. Like that, it's beyond her just disagreeing with them. They couldn't even speak without her like making a face or snarling or making noises. And it was honestly like grossing me out. It just felt super disrespectful and immature. And I don't know, I just took that as a lesson. I'm like, dang, I hope like even when we get in arguments and stuff, I'm like, I don't want to ever be that way. Yeah.
I think it was definitely the way they had positioned it or had probably had conversations before. Obviously they went to reunion, as you could tell that there was already preconceived notions, like nothing that was going to be said was going to allow them to be friends or be cordial after this. She had already made the decision. Yeah, she had already made the decision. So I was like, yeah, the fact that Paige wanted to be so involved, I feel like she said it on the show, actually, like from the first time she was there till now, she had felt like Lindsay was picking on her. So she's always held on to that very first she being resentful to her all that time, which it's like, okay, I'm not responsible for what you've held on to and not wanted to have a conversation about. You just want to be passive aggressive every single summer. Yeah. And I get it. Lindsay hasn't been perfect, but at the same time, it's like, who is? She hasn't been. And I think now it's kind of like more of a Lindsay's happy. And so let me try to do the best I can to kind of like rain on her parade. Yeah. Because she was so mean to me when I was 23 years old, you know, so that's how I took it. And I was just I just thought the whole thing was whack. I think Maya, Paige,
that whole couch, the whole couch,
Sierra, and then like, you know, Kyle and Amanda are cool, but it's like they just fall into that because obviously, you know, now we know how they feel about the whole thing that happened 4 years ago. So it's like, okay, it all makes sense.
Which is fine to have feelings about, but it's like we were talking about earlier, either talk about the problem or talk about the resolution.
Exactly. And that's my whole thing is I'm like, yo, Kyle is 40. why are you not the most you're a business owner. Why are you not the most level-headed person there where you can at least speak rationale over the situation? Because that's all he could do is he's the only guy that they listen to, and he has great relationships with all of the girls, in my opinion.
Yeah. And that's what's crazy too with the Carl stuff is like Carl is the most rational, level-headed one now and mature one. And what's crazy is now they all can't stand him. But when he was doing drugs and drinking constantly and struggling, oh, we love Carl, this Carl, like obsessed with him because he was in their minds like beneath them, like not like he was struggling, whatever.
They were his enablers.
Right. Now that he's done the work and he's sitting there like a healthy, mature adult taking responsibility, saying like, I am an alcoholic. I am a drug addict. Like these things are fact. Like I have done this work. I'm sorry for not including you, Danielle. That makes me so sad. I wish I could go back and change it. Like he's saying everything he possibly can in the most healthy way. And they're not going to accept it because they don't like that he's grown out of his low place, because when he's in his low place, they're above. Yeah. And now it's what we've said this whole time. When people grow and become healthier versions of themselves, the people that were around them when they were unhealthy, it makes them feel uncomfortable. Correct. It makes them feel like they've been left behind. It starts to show them the areas they need to work on. And maybe they weren't ready to do that. Yeah. And so, I don't know. It makes me sad because Lindsay clearly has been working her tail off as well. Yeah. To grow and evolve.
She went sober.
Went sober for him. And is trying to figure out if alcohol can be in her life. And that's like, that's a hard thing to like, a hard habit to break after all these years. And I like what Carl said about, I have all this baggage, and what she's signing up to walk through is a lot. And so who am I to not sign up on the reverse and be committed? And I love when he said, I'm committed to figuring this out and learning how to communicate effectively. And that is honestly all that I feel like relationship comes down to. Yeah. You can talk about love all day long. Commitment is what makes the relationship grow, and commitment is what makes it last.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. 100% agree.
And I feel like love comes from the other side of commitment.
Mm-hmm. That's really wise. No, I completely agree with that.
Oh my gosh, thanks. But it's hard to do. That's why it doesn't get done a lot. Oh my gosh, actually, this is the last thing I'll say, and then we can wrap it up. But I was thinking about this morning. I just felt like in my spirit, commitment issues in general, those two words, but regarding our culture and our society, I feel like that is the root of so many issues, not just in relationship, in jobs, in like discipline, in friendships, in our spiritual life. Like we struggle to commit ourselves to the Lord, commit ourselves to getting better at our craft, commit ourselves to our relationships, commit ourselves to our friendships. Like, yes, there is discernment in deciding what you commit yourself to. I'm not saying just like tie or like handcuff yourself to something that's gonna like be a dead weight and drag you to the bottom of the ocean. I'm not saying that, but using like spiritual discernment, wisdom to decide what to commit to. But when you do, to stay in it and stay committed, like that is what I feel like the Lord has taught me so much in this last year. And I can look back at the contrast of my life and the seasons where I struggled to commit myself, and those seasons did not bear fruit. And I feel like this year of my life is really the most fruit I've seen. And it's also been the hardest year because I was breaking out of the bad habit of not wanting to commit myself. Yeah. And committing is hard. But if anything has taught me, it's marriage, the number one commitment. And it's number two behind my relationship with the Lord. But I feel like those go hand in hand, because in order to commit to you, I have to commit to him. I've learned that. I've experienced that. And the ish is hard, but I see the fruit in my life because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I feel passionate about that. I was like, I don't know. I don't know what, like, I don't know if he just wanted me to talk about that on here, or if that's just, a lot of times he'll give me themes just like, and then I start to notice it in different situations for the coming days or weeks or whatever. But, do you have anything on that?
No, not really. I mean, I feel like that was your word for the day. I feel like you've spoken over something. So yeah, don't let me, I want to steal your thunder.
Okay. Last thing I'll say, 'cause I'm thinking about this too. Like, I feel like what makes it hard to commit is that we will succumb to our emotions. And that is where the word of God is so important, because we have to, when we have emotions that are different from our like initial path, like the thing we set out to do, when our emotions try to deter us from that, the word of God is so important, because we have to lean on what he says to be true, because our emotions are going to tell us otherwise, honestly, like 50% of the time. And what I mean by that is like, okay, we move back home, right? And I want to get back to work. I haven't booked a job yet. My fleshly response to that is to stress, to worry, to want to strive, to want to create it myself. And his words say to do the exact opposite, right? But my flesh is like, no, let's do something about this. I'm freaking out, whatever. And he tells me to do the exact opposite, to wait on him, to rest, to not worry, to not be anxious. And like, that is where, okay, I have to commit myself to that for the long haul of what he wants for my life. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things where I'm like, if I let my emotions lead me, same way with our marriage, like, I have to rely on what the word of God says about marriage and about committing yourself to someone, because after this morning and me being 10 minutes late, like, that could have led to divorce. Who knows? Yeah. No, but like, it's so easy to go on a downward spiral, and give your emotions more power than they should have. And I feel like our culture is so big on like, feel your feelings and sit in them. And I think God created our emotions. They're here for a reason, but they're never meant to have authority over him or over our actions, or yeah. And I feel like they interfere with commitment. That's all. That's really my last.
I love that. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, sign us off.
Oh my gosh, are you sleepy?
No, I'm good. I'm listening to what you said. I think that's great. I think that's like I said, I feel like, you've spoken over something. So that's just, I mean, yeah, it just, to me, it signifies like like you said, is you feel like when you've turned 26, you feel like you've learned so many new things. I just feel like there's just been so much that's been deposited into us this past couple months of us living abroad. And yeah, I love that's how you're interpreting things. It's awesome.
Thanks. He has to hear me talk about all this all the time, and I know that I get heady, but it's just the way that I communicate, and it's the things like talking about this stuff, talking about what the Lord's doing in my life. It in turn inspires me, and it also just makes you remember that like he's so living and active. And we think we're just going through our days, and I could have felt that in my spirit, the thing about the commitment thing, and then just overlooked it and felt silly to bring it up or insecure or not want to like talk y'all's ears off. But honestly, I don't care. That's what this platform's for. And so I always just want to honor that stuff, and I want to be reminded myself that he's speaking to me, and he's speaking to you, and these things that he's saying to us throughout the day, they're not like just to be brushed off. They're to sit with and to marinate in and ask him what they're meant for and what he wants us to do with them. And so thank y'all. Thank you for giving me the space to do that. And thank you guys. And I'm just thankful for this podcast. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful that we keep committing. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. don't forget to what, Jackie?
Subscribe, like, comment, drive up the algorithm. It helps the YouTube channel a lot. And keep subscribing to the podcast, liking the podcast, commenting on the podcast. We go look and listen to we go and look at all of the comments.
Yes, we do.
And we discuss those things over the week. So yeah, keep letting us know how we can get better.
Yeah. Just don't be mean. No, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at WSHAP podcast, WSHAP podcast. We'll keep you updated on new episodes and just little recaps and whatnot. But we love you guys, and we're so excited to be back doing this. We hope you have an amazing week with us, an amazing day. Happy Tuesday, and we will talk to you all tomorrow morning.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.